Hi, I'm a writer. The only thing worse than being a writer is being a comedian because I'm not famous. Being a writer or a comedian is only good if you're famous. Whereas if you're not famous and you say, yeah, I'm a comedian, I'm like a struggling comedian, that means you're just telling them that you think you're funny. So it's like the worst thing to be ever. A musician, people still appreciate that you can sort of like prove to them that you can play an instrument. You go, look, here's a guitar, you play it, and they go, plang, can't play it. And then I go, look, I'll play it. Do 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 do. You can play the simplest tune ever, and they're impressed that you can play it. Like I said, they can't play the guitar, they can't play the drums, they know they can't. But everyone thinks they're funny. So you can't just go, no, I'm the funny one. Like, I know how to do it. You don't. They think they're funny too. So you can't tell someone that you're a comedian. You just can't, unless you're famous. And it's sort of the same with being a writer. You can't just go, yeah, I write things, because they write things too. They don't think that's special unless you're famous. But when you're a writer, you read things differently. You really pay attention to the words people are using and why, and their style. And I find that a lot of people do a lot of unnecessary and pretentious things to make them sound more intelligent or sound classy or something. I don't know what they're trying to do, but a lot of people do the same sort of weird habits that I've noticed where, first of all, they use all these like French words that you would never say in real life. You only ever say it when you're writing something. You don't talk like that. Like, one of the ones that really pisses me off, because I don't even understand it, is et al. I actually looked it up, and after looking it up, I understand it even less than I did before I looked it up. Et al, spelled E-T space A-L. It literally means and the others, apparently. So we use et al to indicate that there are 3 or 4 more authors other than the first surname that is given. Don't you hate explanations like that? So we use et al to indicate that there are 3 or 4 more authors, like I'm supposed to know what authors, what are you talking about? Other than the first surname that is given. I didn't realise there was a first surname that was given. I didn't know that there was surnames being given. E.g., Green et al. 2009. How the fuck does that explain to me how it's used? You're just telling me that someone used it like that. You don't tell me why. Why would anyone do that? And what is it? It's translated into British. From what? Is that French? I'm not really interested in what et al means. I want to know why English people keep saying it when they write things. It's just pretentious as fuck. What are you doing? What are the other French ones? Or, you know, when someone's talking about someone's first album and they go, yeah, it was their debut. And I'm like, why did you say the French? Why don't you just say it's their first album? Why are you saying that? Carte blanche. I don't understand par for the course either. What the fuck does that mean? No one says, you don't talk like that. Why are you writing like that? It's like you turn into a different person when you start writing. There is such thing as writing it in character. So you will say things that you don't actually say. You wouldn't say it like that in real life. You write it like that because you're trying to express it a certain way, but that's not what they're doing. They're just randomly using French words to sort of spice up their writing. It's so annoying. And seldom. If something doesn't happen very often, that means it seldom happens. You don't talk like that. Why are you writing like that? And I don't even think you write like that. You just think these words make your writing better somehow. It's like another one that pisses me off is when someone says happy birthday a day after someone's birthday. They missed it and they go, happy belated birthday. Belated? What the fuck is belated? You don't say that at any other time. It's only when it's a birthday. But no one ever uses belated in any other time when they're late for something. They don't go, oh, here's my belated. If you owe someone money and you give it to them late, you don't go, oh, here's the money, belated money. Yeah, sorry. No one ever uses belated unless it's birthday. And I just don't get it. Like, where did that come from? It's like everyone does it, but no one knows why they do it. I don't even understand the word impromptu. Like, would you ever use that when you're talking? But you write it, don't you? You love that word when you're writing. Impromptu. And the like. And the like. Like, if you're talking, you go, oh yeah, and stuff like that. And things like that. You don't go, and the like. So annoying. One that gets me as well is people actually do say this, like verbally. They don't just write it. They write it more than they say it, but I have heard people say this. They say writ large. Well, here's a joke. There's two people, and one of them's reading a book. And the one reading the book asks the other one, hey, what does writ large mean? And the other one goes, it's very obvious. And the other one goes, well, there's no need to be like that. No, I'm just asking, why don't you just tell me? And they go, no, it's very obvious. Yeah, you've already said that. It's not obvious to me. That's why I'm asking. Like, I don't know what it means. Can you just tell me what writ large means, please? No, it's very obvious. Yeah, you keep saying it. Stop rubbing it in. Stop taking the piss. Writ large, what does it mean? Writ large means it's very obvious. But I'm just saying, it's another example of like, well, why couldn't you just say it was very obvious? Oh, because that would just seem like a normal thing to say, aka a boring thing to say, aka a dumb thing to say, aka a simple-minded thing to say. So you're going to say writ large because it sounds more what exactly? It's almost like you want me to go, what does that mean? So you can feel smart. Oh, did I say something that you didn't understand? Oh, sorry. I know I could have used something else that's perfectly acceptable, but I decided to use writ large. And the like. Par for the course. Oh yeah, there's another annoying, like, Frenchy one. En masse. E-N space M-A-S-S-E. I'm pretty sure if you were saying it, you would pronounce it en masse. It just means a group of people. Like if you're at a party and everyone leaves, they left en masse. Who talks like that? But you write like that. It's fucking stupid. Why do people do this? It reminds me of another pet peeve of mine is when really common folk, people that talk like me, that don't pronounce their T's and shit, they think it's really funny to use posh vernacular in their vocabulary. Like, they'll say things like, yeah, I'll see you on the morrow, instead of tomorrow. On the morrow. But yeah, that's actually a different thing, but it reminds me, it's the same thing. Like someone talks a certain way, they talk normal, and then they want to write something, and then all of a sudden, because they're typing or writing, they start using all these French things, and everything's et al, and en masse, and fucking debut, and seldom, and albeit. Albeit is the most annoying one, because it's 3 words, all be it. But for some reason, when people write, they just smash it into one. Maybe it's because it's easier to write. I'll give you that one. I'll allow that. It even annoys me when people say without further ado. Especially if they say it wrong and they say without further to do. If you say it right, it annoys me because it's without further ado. And no one talks like that. And if you say it wrong, it annoys me because you said it wrong. You're saying the fucking annoying term and you're not even saying it properly. But yeah, happy belated birthday. Sorry, I seldom miss birthdays, albeit this is the first birthday you've had since I've known you, so this is our debut birthday celebration together. You know, there's plenty of people out there that have birthdays en masse. So without further ado, I think it's par for the course that I give you an impromptu birthday celebration and the like. I mean, we can have a good night, and then I hope you don't have too much of a hangover on the morrow. Writ large. Written by John Glenister et al. 2024. And that's how you talk like a cunt. Oh no, that's how you write. Like sometimes you use a word that you might not necessarily use when you're talking because you can emphasize things when you talk and you can express yourself in different ways. And you can't do that when you're writing, so you have to be more verbose in your writing than you are in your speaking. But to use all of this like random, foreign language shit all the time and everything's spelt different and albeit and all of this crap, like, why are you doing that? It's so fucking lame. It doesn't help expressing what you're trying to say. When I'm reading what you're writing and you keep injecting all of these fucking stupid words that you don't use when you're talking, and it's not to emphasize anything, it's not to further explain or expand anything. I think we know why, don't we? We all know why someone would do that. It's to be pretentious. It's to act like you're some sort of writer. But there's no substance to what you're writing. It's just a load of fucking fancy frilly shit put around your boring writing. So you're saying nothing and then dressing it up with all this French shit. Fuck off. It's like if I was a university professor, tutor, someone that marks someone's work, if I was someone that had to sit there and mark people's work, it would be easy to spot where people have plagiarized and just stolen things. Because it would have all that shit in there. It'd all be et al. And fucking albeit, en masse and writ large. But like, this kid doesn't talk like that. Why are they writing all this shit? Oh, they've obviously copied it from somewhere. And it's like we've all done that. We've all had to hand in some work. And then when it comes to writing it, you realise that your vocabulary is shit. And you're repeating yourself. And you can't explain what you're trying to say. And you have to look up dictionary and shit. Because you want to use bigger words for your work. Because you think you get a better mark. We've all done that. But it's like, I actually figured out how to get smart without going to university. Do you know how to do it? It's the easiest thing in the world. I can tell you how to do it, and you won't do it. I'll tell you anyway. Ready? All you got to do is go online, go and listen to someone speak. Because I've heard people come up with this idea where they go, you can get an app on your phone where it teaches you a new word every day. And I'm like, yeah, but you'll forget it though. If you learn a new word in the morning, you'll forget it by the afternoon, trust me. That's not how you learn. You learn when you want to know something. Someone can't just throw you a word and then you know it now and you can use it. It's not going to work like that. The way to do it is to go and listen to people talk about things you're interested in, but they're a bit over your head. You don't really understand it all. You need 2 pages open. You need the video and then you need a Google page open for a dictionary, right? Because what people do, it's natural to do this, is someone says a word that you don't know what it means and they've lost you. You don't know what they're talking about now. And what people do is they go, oh shit, I'm lost. I don't know what they're talking about. If I keep listening, then eventually it will start making sense. They'll say it in a way that it makes sense to me. But what if they keep talking and it never makes sense to you? Just pause the video, go and look up the word, go back to the video, and now you know what that word means. And every time they use it, you know what it means. Guess what? Every time anyone ever uses that word for the rest of your life, you'll know what it means. You'll actually start using it yourself because you know what you're talking about. It's that easy. And I've told people to do this, and they go, that's a really good idea, I'm going to do that. And they never do it. Do you know why they don't do it? Because the only time they ever listen to people talk is on their phone. You can tell who uses their phone to surf the internet and who uses a computer. Because what I just told you to do is to have 2 pages open, which is something you would do on a computer. But if you're on your phone, the video is taking up your entire screen. If they say something that you don't understand, you're going to do the thing, aren't you? Where you're going to sit there and go, I'll just wait it out, hopefully it will make sense. But even if you do catch up and it starts making sense, you still don't know what that word means. So why are you depriving yourself of that knowledge when it's right there? Click of a button. I started doing this about over 10 years ago. And my vocabulary expanded really wide, really quick. Because I was listening to a lot of shit that I was interested in and didn't know what they were talking about always. So I'd look it up and go, oh, that means that. Oh, that means that. Oh, now I know what I'm talking about. Next thing you know, I'm talking and people keep stopping me going, what? What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't use any words that I don't know what they mean. I catch people out all the time. They use a fancy word. I go, what does that word mean? I actually know what it means, but I want to see if they do. Because I'm not listening to someone that uses words without knowing what they mean. So I'm checking. What does that word mean? And then they get it wrong and I go, no, that isn't what it means. It means this. Go and look it up. Yeah, don't use that word in future if you don't know what it means. I'm quite strict about this. But yeah, then I read other people's writings and it's all et al and albeit and en masse and all of this shit. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. What are you doing? Did you borrow someone else's brain to write this? Did you borrow a fucking foreign person's brain? What are you doing? You just made me have to go and look up et al. It turns out it means a load of bollocks that you don't need to say. Just like every single one of the words I've used. It's all some shit you don't need to say. You could just say it normally. Stop watching really long videos on your phone. You're going to get a hunchback. Sit down at a computer. Don't have a computer. Watch things on your TV. Have your phone in your hand. Use that as the dictionary. Pause the video every time someone says something you don't know what they're saying. Every time they say a word and you go, what the fuck does that mean? Pause the video. Look it up. It takes 5 seconds. And now you're a tiny bit, but at least a little bit smarter than you were 5 seconds ago. Because now you know what it means and you actually want to know what it means. So you're going to remember it. Getting an app on your phone that teaches you a new word every day is not going to work. You'll forget it. You'll forget it all. Stop using French words and Italian words and shit and Latin and shit to jazz up your writing when you hardly know any fucking English words. That's your problem, isn't it? You're trying to write something and you're like, oh, this is a bit simple and dumb. I know. I'll say, albeit. And then I'll sound like I'm smart. Fucking douchebag. But yeah, this is the kind of thing that I just love to point out to people because then you just start noticing it everywhere. I mean, everyone knows someone that they have on their Facebook or whatever and you know that they think of themselves as a bit of a writer, right? Every time they post something now, you're going to notice all of the albeits and the en masse and all of this shit. You're going to notice it, and you're going to also notice the lack of substance in the rest of what they're saying, and that's why they use all that shit. Like if you're going to write something expressive, the person reading it needs to be able to hear your voice when they're reading it. Or if they don't know you, they need to hear a voice, a character, a person that's talking to them. And the minute you start using fucking writ large and seldom and the like and all this shit, it's like, well, I'm not hearing your voice because I know you don't talk like that because no one does! Okay? You are doing the opposite of what you're trying to achieve, which is express yourself, what's in your mind and what's in your heart through words. And the funny thing is, I don't even have good grammar. There's plenty of people out there that would probably read something that I wrote and think it's terrible because of the grammar. And I'm like, yeah, but guess what? The truth is, I don't respect grammar. I think grammar only needs to be good enough for people to understand. In fact, if something is written perfectly grammatically correct, it's usually not a very good read. It doesn't read well, so why would that be the perfect way to write it? To me, the perfect way to write something is when it's the perfect way to read it. To me, when I feel accomplished and feel like I've written something good, it's because it was a good read. If the comma wasn't in the right place, it's because I don't give a shit, all right? It does not matter to what I'm saying. If you can understand the words I'm saying in my writing, then that's it. Good. Anyone wants to say, hey, you spelled that wrong, or you put that comma in the wrong place, it's like, oh my God, how fucking irrelevant is that? What I care about is content, substance, feeling, vigor, intensity, expression, passion. Perfectly grammatically correct shit is for like instruction manuals and stuff. It's not for expressive writing. That's what I care about. And sometimes I'm just saying, sometimes I read things that other people have written that are obviously trying to achieve the same thing I'm trying to achieve, but the way they go about it is putting all of this French shit in there, and in between it, they don't say anything. And then they repeat themselves. And then they just say the most simplistic terms and try and talk about complicated things, and they don't know how. It's so annoying. Because you've got a dictionary just like I do. Go and use it. Stop reading things that you think smart people wrote and then imitating their grammar. That doesn't make you seem smart, okay? I'm letting you know. Also, that's my gripe. That's what I'm pissed off about. Is I think a lot of people are writing things to try and seem smart. That shouldn't be why you're writing things. I write things because I want to express something. And yes, I want to say it in a clever way because then people are more likely to read it or enjoy reading it or get something from it. Putting little French things in your writing doesn't make me think you're smart, and it doesn't make it a good read. It makes me just stop in my tracks and go, why did they use that when they could have just said it, you know? Like I said, even debut, I know everyone uses that one, but it's like, why? That's their debut album. What does that mean? That means it's their first album. Why didn't you just say it was their first album? It's actually easier to say first. It's got less... Wait, debut, D-E-B-U-T. F-I-R-S-T. Okay, got the same amount of letters in it. First has 5 letters in it. Debut has 5 letters in it. But first is only 1 syllable. Debut is 2 syllables. Why are you giving me more syllables? Why are you doing that? And people do this shit in real life sometimes. They say this stuff in conversation, and I stop them and go, why did you say that instead of just saying... And they go, I don't know. I just want to slap them.